right, welcome to Two Guys One Take. My name is Noah, and that is Turner and Turner. Hold on, I'm getting word. The Haliband has just struck Oklahoma City. Dude, I cannot believe that game.
Tyrese
I
strikes
cannot believe
again.
it.
Tyrese strikes again. That was
He's had more
crazy.
moments in these playoffs. Like he's had more moments just in these playoffs than some of these guys that we talk about, have had in their whole career. Like he's
Yeah.
had more moments than James Harden's whole career just in this
Oh,
playoff run.
easy. I don't even know how many. What is that? Four like
So
buzzer
he
beating
hit the
shots and
Bucks. Yeah, I mean, I think it's three buzzer beaters, but like four
Bucks,
or
Cavs.
five like late game, just crazy Halliburton. No, it
I
is
think he.
four because this.
Yeah, because he,
Yeah,
he
it
had
is four.
three game winners and then one to tie. The one that bounced
Yeah,
up really high and came down.
yeah. I forgot
Uh,
about the Bucks one. That's because that just feels like a lifetime ago. But
it
um,
does.
that I can't believe that they just keep doing this. It's gonna sound like a broken record. Everybody's gonna say this about in between next game, but like every time I watch the Pacers do that, I'm in my head the whole time. I'm like, well, this isn't happening again, and then they just
There's
do it.
yeah. I don't. They're like setting it up so they can do this. And weird coaching decision too. I don't know if you noticed. The end of the third quarter and like a majority of the fourth quarter, like Shea or Chet wasn't out there. Super weird.
Yeah, well, and then I I was watching earlier in the game, and I found myself wondering if Hartenstein wasn't on the floor and they went small, would they be able to break this thing open? But then Hartenstein leaves the floor,
Mhm.
and Chet leaves the floor, and they go small, and that's when the Pacers got back in it because they could run and get offensive rebounds because they kept Siakam out there.
Yeah.
Which I, I I would hope they're going to adjust for game two, but I just think the Chet Siakam thing, like I feel like if Siakam's out there, Chet or Hardenstein got to be out there.
You have to be like you can't
Uh,
have J Dub as your tallest player out there. And like Alex
yeah,
Caruso is matched up against Siakam and I think Casey Wallace. I forgot who he was matched up against, but it was also a
yeah.
mismatch. So I mean, looking if you saw just watch the fourth quarter, you thought this would have been a blow. Because what did they start the game with like nine turnovers in
Yeah,
the first quarter? It's ridiculous.
and they had 25 for the game.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
stupid.
but the Thunder only had 11 points off 25 turnovers. Um, I think there was a point, just to kind of take it back in time, there was a point in like the mid third quarter where it felt like the Thunder were on like the precipice of just breaking this thing open to like 20
Hmm.
25 points. They just didn't shoot the ball very well all game. They had a lead because the Pacers couldn't get anything going offensively. They were turning the ball over a lot, but they didn't capitalize on it enough, and they just didn't. Other than Shea, which Shea didn't even shoot the ball that well, but they
Hmm.
just weren't efficient. I think they shot like 40% for the game, or at least that's what they
No.
were at like midway through the fourth. Um, Quietly, because they've been so good, so it's been hard to notice. But quietly, they just haven't shot the three well as a team at all the entire postseason.
Yeah.
Uh,
Except
and the
Lou.
Pacers, except for
I mean,
Lou,
Lou.
yeah,
Yeah, Lou's just that fucking dude.
Lou, I think is just that he's going to get those shots, and so he's make or miss when it comes to him. And if he's missing them, then he's going to stay open. But he was hitting them
Yeah.
tonight. But yeah, I don't know if you had that same feeling watching, but like on the third quarter, I kept thinking like, man, it's only 12 points still. It feels like it should be like 20, twenty
Yeah.
five points,
I
like
mean, it
based on how
felt
this is
like
going.
20. It felt like
Yeah,
20, and then like from the crowd's reaction and everything, you would have thought that it was 20. And then once they started getting closer and closer and closer, the crowd just like was completely out of it, which was odd because that Thunder crowd has been fucking awesome all series or all postseason.
yeah,
But looking at the box, dude, what a night for Obi.
I
4 for
know.
8 from three with 17 points on 25 minutes. That's ridiculous.
We have to talk Obi. Every time he shot a three, I thought it was going in after the first two hit.
Yeah.
He just looked pure tonight. I want to shout out our boy Thomas Bryant. He hit a big corner three.
Mm-hmm.
Like honestly, when the game was starting to get a little bit away from them, I think it was a 13-point game. He hit a three to bring him back within 10 in the third, and that stood out to
Yes.
me because I was like, First of all, why is Thomas Bryant playing minutes in the finals again? Why is this on my TV? Then I was like, oh yeah, that's right. He's good. He's hit
Uh,
that three. Um, but and then Miles Turner hitting that like crazy like sidestep bank three in the fourth after Nemhard's step back.
yeah,
That little like spurt right there was, I mean, if you told me it was going to be a Miles Turner and a Nemhard three to get him, back within like I think it was within four at that point, I would have told you that you're crazy pregame.
yeah, yeah. I mean, they did a really good job defending Shea too. I just want to say that because they didn't. Shea tried his best to like foul bait again and like leaning into everyone like what while he was driving, but they just kept like pulling the chair on him, and he would have to take like off balance shots. Which shout out to the fucking Pacers for that, dude, because they did a good job. And then I just want to also highlight TJ McConnell, dude. TJ McConnell is such a spark plug for that team off the bench. Like being able to give Tyrese Halliburton and like Andrew Nemhard just a little bit of rest, and then TJ McConnell still like applying pressure, whether that's driving to the lane or creating stuff on offense. Like testament to him. Just a true role player for that team, and puts in big minutes for him.
Yeah, he does that little like Steve Nash style, like I'm just going to dribble past everybody down the baseline and then kick it out, and it just
Yeah.
gets things moving, gets the defense moving,
Hmm.
gets people out of position, and
It's like a different
sometimes,
game. It's
yeah,
just different than Tyrese.
yeah, that's what's tough about the Pacers. I've noticed as I've watched them because they're very unique to watch. They're different than any other team in the playoffs. They're kind of, I've seen people say they're similar to like the Steve Nash like 7 seconds or less Suns, where they just want to get up the floor and get the ball moving a ton. But
Hmm.
when Halliburton's in, it's a different style than when McConnell's in. You have to be ready for both because McConnell's going to push the pace. So is Halliburton, but in a different way. He'll push and then stop and then restart again, whereas McConnell is just pedal to the metal the whole time.
Yeah.
Halliburton, on one hand, I mean, it wasn't a great night up until he hit the shot and had a pretty decent fourth quarter. But like Richard
Hmm.
Jefferson, halfway through the fourth, was like, "Hey, Halliburton's having one of those games where he's not being the aggressor and he's not scoring," and kind of called it out a little bit when I think it was like still a 10 point game and it seemed like the Thunder were going to roll to a win, and then he hits the game winner, and everybody kind of is going to forget about he. They did a good job defensively on him as I thought they would, but it didn't matter because OB and the role players were hitting shots.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, if you look at his plus minus, so they're still plus 12. So
Yeah,
their whole team honestly did what they needed to do. No one had 20 plus, but their starting five was in double figures, and then Obi was 17. I mean, they did what they
yeah,
didn't need to win. And then, like, if you look at the Thunder box score, it's like the complete opposite. Shea with 38, and then the next leading score was Jalen with 17, and then no one else was close to that, really. So I
yeah,
don't really know
and
what the Thunder need to do. I think they just need to finish, really, um, and
yeah,
capitalize off the turnovers early.
yeah. This reminded me. It was a different style of game, but the way they ended, like where they kind of all looked a little like a deer in the headlights, like
Hmm.
closing the game out and didn't know how they wanted to finish, reminded me of Game One of the um, Denver series, where Gordon hits that game winner. You're the whole time you're watching, you're like, well, there's no way Denver's just going to win, and then they just won. It's kind
Yeah.
of what you were thinking the whole time with the Pacers, and they kind of give it away. Game two of that series, they obviously blew out Denver. So I I would hope that's kind of the energy they bring to game two. But the Pacers are just they're just different. They have like team of destiny vibes.
Yes,
They
sir.
I never feel like they're out of it. No matter how bad they look, they find a way to get back in it. Um, and you're right. The Thunder were a little too Shea centric. Like he had 38, but he didn't shoot the ball particularly well. He wasn't like very efficient. Um, and they did a good job like turning him into he is a scorer, but he also likes to just get the ball moving. But they kind of had him forced him into just like being a shooter only. Like
Yeah.
he had 11 shots in the first quarter. That never really happens with him.
Yeah. another thing I want to highlight is last series. I feel like when they were running small, they at least had like Jay Will in to guard like the big man, but they were still like considered small. But he didn't play tonight, so I don't know if you know anything
Yeah.
about like if he's coming off something or just
I didn't
coach's
see anything.
decision.
I didn't see anything. I think Dagnall's a really good coach, obviously. I mean, and this is a good team, but I expect things to be a little different. Game two, I didn't like. I wanted to see what the small lineup would look like, but once it started to look like that, I wish he would have
Yeah,
switched it up a little bit. Maybe he was worried about the whole like. Maybe he was worried about Hardenstein foul shooting. Um, but Chet should be in the game then at that point.
hmm
Um, I felt like he was going away from Chet being in the game a lot, which I just think is weird because I think the Siakam matchup is one that he needs to be out there for.
yeah.
Um, and
And I like the
so I
double
just find that to
bigs.
be weird.
I like the double bigs
Yeah,
from him.
I like that they can try it at least. And I guess I just don't understand why he went away from Chet
Yeah,
in the
because he didn't
fourth.
play the majority of that third quarter too, which was super weird.
No, yeah, it was really strange. And I get that Caruso can guard bigs, like he guarded Jokic, but that was for one game in a winner take all game seven. He didn't do it for the whole series. So the fact that they had him out there game one and they're like, yeah, just go ahead and defend Siakam,
Yeah,
which it's like, okay, great, but this is game one, dude. Like, I, there's got to be a better way to go about that.
and Siakam's like coming off of a series where he literally went on a tear, and he had Mitchell Robinson and Karl Anthony Towns guarding him. So it's like,
Yeah.
huh,
And Siakam, I feel like I know this like gets mentioned, but I feel like since he was kind of younger and it was Kawhi's team and Fred VanVleet's team and it was kind of looked at as them, that people are like forgetting that he's he's won a championship, and
yeah,
was a good player on that team and was really important to that team as a young player. So he's been there, done that. He knows how big, getting a game one is. So he was out like if the Caruso or Casey Wallace was on him, like those matchups, he was ready to go for it. I think he knew this was, must win, even though it's game one, take one at home or on the road for
hmm
them.
yeah.
But yeah,
So I don't know. I don't know. Looking forward, I don't know what is gonna change. Um, it was
I
just
don't
one of
know.
those weird games. One of those weird games. I don't. I hey, we forgot to say. If you revert back to last episode, I did say that I had a feeling that the Pacers were going to take game one, but they
Yes.
didn't do it in the fashion that I said because I said that I thought OKC was going to start off slow, and then I thought Pacers were going to just steal this game in OKC, but obviously that wasn't the case. OKC came out hot and then kind of well, they didn't come out hot, but they played
Yeah.
decent. And then at the
They were
end of
up
the
the whole
game,
game.
at the end of the game, they fizzled out. So I'll take partial credit.
I'll give you
Yeah,
full credit. I mean, based on how my predictions have been lately, um, I mean, the Braves, honestly, I'll give you full credit for that because we need something to go right on this pod with the predictions.
need some
Um,
credibility.
yeah, exactly. But I don't know what to think going into game two either. My gut tells me OKC wins decidedly, shoots the ball better and plays better and has a different style in terms of maybe playing the bigs a little bit more. But the Pacers are just hard to bet against. They're just very unique and they play strange games.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to like bet against them, especially after seeing tonight and
hmm
watching OKC. This was one of those games again. We haven't seen it for a while. We haven't seen it since Denver, where you're watching and you're like, dude, just grab the game. Grab the game. It's right there. Just grab it.
Yeah.
And they just never did it. And the Pacers did. And the Pacers continue to do that. So, it makes you nervous moving forward, close games. I just think the
It does.
Pacers have proven that they're built for that. So
I was really confused when I was looking at the lines about an hour before the game, and I saw the Pacers were plus 10. I was like, I don't know. That just scared me in itself. I took a alternate spread. I took OKC minus 4.5. Obviously that didn't work out for me. I should have took the Pacers. Uh,
yeah,
money line or spread. Should have just felt my gut. But with that being said,
I had a pretty bad beat.
I still have a bet on OKC winning the series. I might double down
Yeah,
since the odds might be a little bit better now. Um,
yeah.
but who
I have a
says that
Shea MVP.
OKC? Yeah, who says that OKC in four straight?
They definitely like could, like, and I wouldn't be
Yeah,
surprised. I don't think anybody would be surprised if they won four straight. Um, Maybe the Pacers get a weird one at home, but I wouldn't be surprised. Not to discredit the Pacers, it's just this was a weird game. I had a
yeah.
bad beat tonight. I had Thunder -9. That's obviously not a bad beat because they weren't covering towards the end of the game. But I had uh, Pacers team total under 110.5, and
One
Halliburton made that
eleven.
shot at the end to make it 111. So I jumped out of my off my couch obviously because it was a fucking crazy shot in the NBA Finals, and as a fan I was like, holy shit, how do you do that? And then I was like, wait, I have 110.5. Like, the Haliband has just hit touchdown in my household.
Fuck,
Could
man.
not believe that shit.
So fucking tough.
But
Well,
I
shit.
want to shout out
Oh
Nemhard.
wait.
Nemhard had a terrible, terrible, terrible Knicks series, and he was
Hmm.
awesome.
Yeah, dude, he's a good defender too. In all honesty, he plays
Yes.
hard. But I just want to say, as far as like OKC winning four straight, I was talking with my coworker today. He's a OKC fan. Shout out Rob. Um, we were talking. We were like, it's so weird to think about like these teams that win series at their opponent's home like stadium or court, and it's like everyone's celebrating. There's confetti falling, and all the fans are just like leaving. I always think that's so funny. So like, I was like, as an OKC fan, I'm like, dude, you guys might as well just drop one so you can win in
Yeah.
OKC. So
It would be, I mean, yeah, it is really awkward when it's one um on the road. I'm trying to remember, I blocked this out of my memory. Did the Dodgers win at Yankee Stadium? Was that? I feel like they did.
I think they did because did the
Yeah,
Yankees win a game?
they won one game because it was game five that we blew it. We were up like 5-0, and then
Yeah,
the bad inning.
that was
And so that was at
the
Yankee
Garrett
Stadium.
Cole not
Okay.
covering first base
Yes.
game.
Yes. We don't talk about that. But now it's coming back to me. Like, just how awkward it is. Like, all the Bronx people just being like fucking losers. Like, as they're celebrating the World Series. Um, just staring at them like with their fucking popcorn and their hot dogs, just like, what the fuck.
So
Um,
funny.
it's way more awkward in basketball though because it's an indoor like small space and everybody just has to
Yeah.
like file out real slow. Um, so that always
St-
kills me.
Wait, did the Pacers beat the Knicks? Did they beat them at MSG or did they beat them in Indiana?
It was at MSG.
Fuck.
No, it was at Indiana because it was game
Okay,
six.
damn it.
It
God,
was
I
game
really
six.
wish I could have saw all the Knicks fans filing out of the fucking out of that stadium, and then
Spike Lee.
fucking, and then the just Pacers fans getting mobbed.
Yeah, exactly. Real quick, just want to say we were on top of it. I don't want to get too much into this, but we were on top of the Tibbs shit. The Tibbs shit. We've been saying
Mm-hmm.
since the Pistons series that doesn't matter how far Tibbs gets, he should be on the hot seat. He hasn't gotten this team to its full potential, which is weird to say because they made the East Finals. But just quick on Tibbs, we were on top of that, and I think I never want anybody to be fired, but I just understood why they fired him because they needed more. So it'll be
Yeah,
interesting to see who they go after.
I mean, if you want to stay on basketball, didn't the Suns just hire their new coach too?
Yeah. So Suns. Oof. Okay. Matt Ishbia.
Sorry, is this a bad
Uh,
time?
it always is with the Suns. Matt Ishbia, um, Michigan State alum. All right, and I promise you that's relevant. Buys a team, give trades for KD, trades for the worst contract in the NBA, Bradley Beal. Moves James Jones, our GM this season, who's actually done a pretty good job drafting, down to a consultant role and hires his buddy who used to coach on the staff at Michigan State to be the GM. Never been a GM before. College basketball lifer hires him. They do a 15 coach interview process. 15 coaches get brought in. You want to know who the guy they went with? Oh, he used to be on Izzo's staff at Michigan State. So we just got a fucking boys club running the Suns. And I hope he's a good coach because it's my team. I want them to do good. So I hope he's a good coach. But and I saw Devin Booker signed off on it, which is good enough for me, I suppose. But you've got to be fucking kidding me. Like I as soon as I saw when they announced I was on the Athletic and they said here's the five finalists and one of them was this guy Ott, and they mentioned at the end they were like, by the way, he's a Michigan State alum. I was like, well, they're gonna hire that guy for sure. They're gonna hire that guy. Um, and I've been seeing, I brought it up on the pod when I was doing my trade machine stuff. Cat for Durant is a trade that works, and you know might as fucking well, I guess. I keep seeing that. I keep seeing that everywhere now. Like, oh, the Knicks and Durant have a mutual interest, and there was a trade deadline possibility for them.
I hate
You
seeing
know,
those.
at this point, like, sure, sure, we'll take Cat, whatever. Cat and Beal and Booker. What could go wrong?
Could be
It's gonna be
sick.
awesome.
Could be pretty
Um,
sick.
I've basically just decided as a Suns fan that until the Beal contract is off of our team, we're fucked. He's awful, man. He is truly awful.
Yeah, he's got to turn around next season, or it might be one of the worst contracts in a while.
One of the worst. It is the worst. The fact that he has a no trade clause. I mean, Ben Simmons' contract is done, so he is the worst contract by far.
Wait,
He has a
because
no trade
who
clause.
else has a no trade clause? It's him and
Just him and LeBron. It's only him and LeBron. So Bradley Beal and LeBron James are the only ones with no trade clause. Basically, the only way that any other team would agree to even take his contract is if he took the clause out. He's obviously not going to do that,
fuck
and
no.
we can't just send him anywhere we want because he can just say no. So it's like I, yeah, I can't even talk about Beal without getting worked up. I really can't stand
I
that
was,
that guy's on our team.
I was trying to lighten the mood for you, man. I'm sorry.
No, you know what? We're gonna get Cat, dude, and it's gonna be Big Purr down in Phoenix, man.
Yeah.
So,
And then they didn't they make another front office change? Uh,
well, I know they hired their GM. I talked about that, but I don't know what else they did.
oh, I guess it was just that with their GM. But
Yeah,
I'm
we'll
just
see what
looking at
happens
the
with that guy.
Suns X page here too. Kevin Durant won the Magic Johnson Award, so shout out him.
What'd he do? What's that?
Award recognizes the NBA player who combines excellence on the court with cooperation and working with the media.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah, he's
you
big
guys,
in the media. He likes to use social media.
you guys are on the ups, man. At least you got that to
Shout out.
back yourself.
Hang that in the rafters. Kevin Durant won the Magic Johnson Award.
Yeah, all right, man. Yeah. On to puck.
Dude, fucking
Good
awesome
fucking
game.
game. Fucking sick ass game. I watched the first period and then I think I was at the gym and didn't really forgot my headphones, so I was like, I might as well just fucking not watch it. And then I
Yeah.
came back home, watched the end of the third period, and then I went to overtime and I was like, fuck yes, dude. So grinded that out and very entertaining. I
That's big.
honestly
You're not a
forgot.
big puck guy.
No,
So,
I honestly forgot how fucking awesome puck is and how fun it is
especially
to
in the
watch.
playoffs.
Yeah, especially in
Especially
OT
like the
too.
playoffs. Oh yeah, dude. OT. I've always like just said this, but I don't think I've ever said it on the pod. Most brutal way. Like, thank God I'm not a fan of either of these teams for real. I just bet on it. But like, most brutal way to lose a playoff game is a hockey OT game because in
Mhm.
football you can like see it happening. It's like a drive that's happening. Even basketball, you can get a feel for it. The ball's up. You have a chance to kind of wonder if it's going to go in. Dude, in puck, like if a game-winning shot goes in OT, it's like boom to the locker room, over. See you guys
Yeah,
later. See you
yeah.
guys in a day. Um, which Dreisaitl did to him. Which
Trisettled.
all-time blunder from Florida, the delay game to get the
Mm-hmm.
power play in OT. Like in OT, refs swallow the whistle. They do not want a power play to decide the game. for I forget who it was, but for Florida to hit the puck out and get a delay a game and let one of the best power plays come on at home. I mean, that was I figured I knew they were going to score, or I felt like it. And as soon as the puck hit Draisaitl's stick, I was like, "That's it. That's going in for sure."
Because if you hit the puck out of play in your own zone, then it's a delay game.
Yep. If you hit
Gotcha.
it into the crowd and it didn't touch anybody else's stick or like anything to make it do that, you were
Hmm.
just trying to throw it down there and it goes in the crowd, delay a game, and that's a power play. So,
Yeah.
which I thought that kind of evened out the goal that the Panthers scored in the first, where Sam Bennett like fell into Skinner,
Hmm.
and they said he got tripped, and like yeah, okay, sort of he did, but like I didn't think that should have been a goal. And then obviously Edmonton challenges, they lose, so then Florida goes in the power play and scores against. Now it's 2-1. Um, I didn't think it was bullshit. I just think sometimes like in hockey, some of these reviews like they just get like the context wrong. Like it's like, okay, that's great that he tripped a little bit, but like, do you see that he fell directly into where Skinner was going to go to save the goal? Like
Yeah.
that feels like that should be a no goal. And then I've talked about it before, like somebody's barely offsides, the puck's in the zone for like a minute, a team scores, and they go back and look at it and they're like, well, a minute ago, that guy was kind of offside, so no goal. I just think they get it wrong sometimes with stuff like that, but
No.
it all evened out in the end. Um,
Crazy
yeah,
game for how many shots on goal Edmonton had. Because didn't they
yeah.
have like 60 and the Panthers had like 30 something?
I think they had 60 like overall shots, but shots on goal, I think they had like somewhere in the high 40s, which in
I
an
know it
OT
was
game
like
is
pretty lopsided too.
yeah. I thought Edmonton outplayed him the whole game. I couldn't even believe that it stayed that close. That's a testament to how good Florida is. Even
Yeah.
on like a game where they don't bring their A game, they still are awesome.
Hmm.
Uh, Brad Marchand has been on a big run. Sam Bennett's been on a big run. Shout out Sam Bennett for just always getting into beef with the other team's goaltender, like injuring guys, falling into guys, hitting guys with his stick. It's just he can't stop.
Fucking dude, imagine how
All
hard it'd
time
be to be
scumbag.
a goalie in the NHL, dude.
Dude, I think that every time. You're out there
And
alone,
yeah,
like it's
this
all
little
on you.
fucking hard ass circular thing is flying at you and you gotta catch it or hit it with your blocking pads, dude. Insane.
You got guys in front of you screening the whole time. It can
Hmm.
hit off their stick and go a totally different direction. Like it's the crowd is in like if you're on the road, like the crowd and like the lights and shit. Like it's just I don't know everything about
Yeah.
it. You got to be a different type of person to be a good goalie.
And I feel like you take most of the losses because I feel like a lot of people blame a lot of shit on the goalies.
Oh yeah, 100%. Even if it's not your fault necessarily. Like Jake Ottinger last series for Dallas, he's one of the best goalies, one of the highest paid goalies. His defense laid him out to dry for two
Yeah.
easy goals for Edmonton, and then he gets pulled from the game and like embarrassed in front of everybody. And it's like, dude, that wasn't even his fault.
Yeah.
Like he got laid out to dry, a couple breakaways. It was like they weren't playing any defense, and then he gets taken out. It's tough life. It's like being a pitcher, but worse, honestly.
Honestly, worse. You are like, because especially if you get pulled too, it's like the same amount of like humiliation. I can't even fucking say the word.
They usually say humiliation.
Humiliation. Yeah, it's humiliating. Um, but yeah, that's puck, man.
What
That's
did you think watching Puck? You don't watch a lot of Puck. What did you think of McDavid? What was your takeaway?
McDavid's fucking awesome. Draisaitl is awesome as well. I forgot just in overtime. They go to multiple overtimes, right? They go to two.
They can go to any amount
Okay, that's another thing. Because
in the
like
playoffs.
once they go to like, don't they keep dropping players if they go to like the next OT? So they
No.
start with
So
like
in playoffs, it just stays the whole time.
okay, but regular season they drop players.
Regular season and overtime is 5 minutes, and there's three players to start.
So
And then
sick.
if that stays, which usually somebody scores because 3 on 3, there's so much open ice, but
Yeah.
if for some reason it stays tied, it goes to a shootout. But they don't do that in the postseason. Like I think it was a couple of years ago, the Panthers had like a 3 OT game or like a 4 OT game against the Bruins or something crazy like that.
So sick. Um, but yeah, I enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I can't wait for tomorrow.
Hell yeah, I'm
I'm
excited
loving the
as well.
finals. I'm loving the Stanley Cup finals. I'm also
And you're
loving
loving
the
Rodgers.
Steelers' new signing, their new quarterback. Um, I'm sorry to Mason Rudolph. I was still riding with you, man. I think you had a kind of a shitty exit the first time. And for them to do it to you again, I'm sorry. Um, I feel like I'm the only Steelers fan that actually kind of rode with Mason, and I was fine with him coming back just because I knew we kind of got him for nothing. And if he did shitty, it was fine. If he did good, fine. I mean, now we just have Rodgers to for 1 year to see what he can teach Will Howard. So I'm excited for him, man. If you weren't there for us to go 10-7, you can't be here for us to go 10-7 again. So
You think he gets you guys to 10-7?
I think he gets us to a winning record. I don't know if it's 10-7. I don't know if it's 9-8.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I do, dude. I don't know because the division's gonna be weird again. I don't think the Bengals are gonna come off as slow as they did last year. So it's going to be tough for us to squeak into a wild card spot. But weirdly enough, I'm one of those Steelers fans. It's like I just want Mike Tomlin to have another winning season so he could just go down as one of the best, which
Yeah.
he's the longest tenured coach in any professional sport right now. So he's doing something right. And I know him and Rodgers have had like this weird, like, I don't want to say intimacy, but they've always had this weird connection every time they play. And like they like make weird eye contact and like wink at each other and shit. So I
Yeah.
don't fucking know. I don't fucking know. And then I've also been hearing on like Steelers pages and stuff that they're looking to get another wide receiver. So I don't know if that's going to be like Gabe Davis or also weirdly enough, I've been hearing Terry McLaurin too. So that would be fucking awesome.
Wow.
So who
Scary
knows?
Terry.
Yeah. So
Bobby
because
Trees isn't
apparently,
doing it for you guys.
dude. Also, everyone's. I've been seeing rankings of like the top wide receiver
Yeah.
twos in the league and like the worst wide receiver twos, and they keep putting Robert Woods as the end. And I'm like, Robert Woods is our third man. I don't know if you watched Calvin Austin play last year, but it was way better than
Yeah.
Van Jefferson. So
Yeah. Um, I do agree. Tomlin and him have this connection. I don't know if it's because of the Super Bowl back in 2010.
fuck that.
Um,
I totally
Kind of
forgot about
crazy
that
that Rodgers
actually.
is still like playing and that Tomlin is still coaching the Steelers, and that happened in 2010, and
Yeah.
now it's 2025. So just insane off the
Yeah.
top.
Mm.
I'm happy that this is finally over. Like he finally actually is like, okay, I'm gonna be at minicamp. I'm going to sign.
Yeah.
Because it was getting to the point where I was just like annoyed by the fact that it was still a story. I was like, dude, just get it over with. Like
Yeah.
I saw Albert Breer talking about, well, Rodgers was really hurt by the fact that last year he had a pre-planned trip during OTAs to Egypt, and then it turned into a big news story. And I was like, that is a news story. He went to fucking Egypt during OTAs. That is a news story. Why is he pissed about that? He's pissed that
Everyone
a
knows
news
what he's
story
gonna
was a
do in
news story.
Egypt. Everyone knows what
Yeah,
he's doing in Egypt, man.
exactly. It's like, dude, that's a news story for sure. But
Yeah.
you know, for this pod and for you and for also my dad, who's a big Steelers fan, I would like this to work out not in week two, but I'd like it to work out for the Steelers. I just can't help but feel like this could be really bad.
Could be
I'm
really.
very nervous. I think this offseason started to go, stay with me here, but I think this offseason started to go a little downhill for the Steelers when they traded for DK. Not because I'm a Seahawks fan and I'm like, I wanted to keep DK. I wanted to trade DK because I thought we needed some different leadership and just like a new direction. He's an awesome receiver. He's going to be awesome with the Steelers, but I just thought that put this weird pressure on the team to have like this win now, now we need to go get a quarterback, but you miss out on Darnold, who I think would have been probably like the best of the free agents to get. You're not really interested in any of the other younger guys. Don't bring Fields back, which I thought was a little weird, even though I'm not like a big Fields guy. Don't bring Russ back. I get that. He's tough. But it just put you guys in this weird position where it was like in this really weak free agent quarterback class, we now have to go get a guy. Like we have to, or else, like, because we just traded for DK, we're win now, we're keeping TJ. I, I don't know. Part of me wonders if it would have been better to, if you were going to trade Pickens, maybe you keep him one more year and then move him before his next deal. Maybe you move TJ. I know he's your guy, but like you go get a bunch of draft picks and just kind of reset because I just don't know. Like if this year doesn't go good, I just think this has set you guys up for like if this year doesn't go good, like what's next? Like that's
Yeah.
what I'm worried about.
Yeah.
But I want it to go good, and I actually kind of weirdly think Rodgers physically could be okay. I just am wondering like where he's at mentally, what his buy-in is. I need to see it.
Yeah. No, I think a lot will show in that first game. Um, I think it did
And the
kind of,
Jets,
yeah, which is wild. But this NFL did it perfectly though with the Steelers schedule because I mean
they
it's
play the
obviously
Packers
going.
too.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's obviously gonna be his farewell tour. So, but I think it just kind of set us back because personally, I know we got DK for 5 years, so it's not like we do need a win now right now. Um, I was hoping that this year we'd start off, like I said, with Mason Rudolph, probably win a couple, lose a couple, and then the Steelers fan base does what they do and just put the coaches on the hot seat and like, hey, we need to switch something up. Obviously, put in Will Howard and then let the season play out with him as a starting quarterback, and then we can come back next year, like reestablish what we want in the office or the offense, and then we still have DK, which is obviously going to be wide receiver one, and then just let like Roman Wilson and Calvin Austin get another year underneath them as far as what like our offense is going to be with them in it. And then Caleb Johnson too. Like we need to establish him as a running back. So the whole like bringing Rodgers in and trying to win still, like see how many wins we can get out of this season. I don't know if it's just because we don't know what our defense is going to look like next year, especially with TJ like reconstructing his contract, or because they offered him something and he didn't like it. So I don't know what that's gonna look like.
He said, "I don't like that." No,
Yeah, I know, which is like, man, come on.
he's
But I
like
get
it.
it. I get it, dude. He's one of the best. He is the best defensive player in the league.
And this is probably his last chance at like a legit payday.
Yeah,
Um, so I get it too.
yeah. So, and I know he wants to like retire as a Steeler. Um, I think everyone can see that, but you never know in the NFL. Like
It's tough
money,
to do in football.
money fucking talks, dude. Money talks.
Unless you're a quarterback, it's tough to do in football. Like stay one team your whole career because, like even his brother JJ, I'm sure if he had it his way, he would want to have retired in Houston. But it's just
Oh yeah.
the team goes a different direction. They're not as competitive or whatever, and he just has doesn't have it anymore. You go
Mm-hmm.
finish your career, somewhere weird with the Cardinals, and so it's just
Yeah.
like that just happens. But that is the one thing you mentioned, Will Howard. Like if in the best case scenario, Rodgers has enough left in the tank to get you guys to a wild card game and maybe you win it and then he's open to helping Will Howard get to that next level and then you
Mm-hmm.
come into next season and Will Howard is like clearly the guy. He
Yeah.
kind of that would be what would change what I said earlier of like what happens next year. If he learns and then he actually comes out looking good next year to start, preseason and training camp and stuff, then that's a win right there by bringing in Rodgers. So it's definitely a risk, but and like I think the DK trade and the Rodgers signing have been so like they've flabbergasted me because like I
Oh
grew
yeah.
up, my dad is a Steelers fan, so I've paid attention to them. Not Steelers type moves at all
No.
that I have known. So just weird.
No. I think it's kind of like the fan base are obviously on like the owner's throats, GM. I mean, pretty much everyone in the front office except Omar Khan, because the con artist can do no wrong.
Part of the
And
deal.
especially with like Mike Tomlin being on the hot seat too, which I hate to say because I'm always
Yeah.
gonna ride for Mikey T. Um, so I don't know. I think it was kind of the DK signing was definitely a desperation move because George Pickens was our guy, but he obviously isn't that guy right now just because I don't know, like temperament issues and we couldn't get him the ball enough.
Yeah.
So yeah, who knows? It's gonna
And
be
that was going
fucking
to be
weird.
even worse with DK on the team, getting him the ball. Like,
Oh
because now
yeah.
DK needs the ball and he's better. So, like,
Yes. Yes. So
yeah.
hopefully, I mean, hopefully Roman Wilson, because we still haven't seen him. We don't know what he's all about. Hopefully he can do something this year for us. I don't know. It's gonna be weird because him and Calvin Austin are pretty much the same. Like they're gonna be
Yeah.
decent, like
Slot guys.
yeah, slot guys like mid routes. Obviously, everything over the top is gonna be to DK. But
Hmm.
the other thing I did want to bring up too, like knock on wood, I don't know what it's gonna look like if DK gets hurt because obviously he hasn't had the most healthy career.
Yeah.
So I don't know who's gonna be that deep ball threat if DK gets hit with something. Especially, I mean, we
Bobby
got
Trees.
Bobby Trees, dude. Hopefully Bobby Trees got a fucking couple more games in him, man. Because,
What
dude, what an
do
all-time
you guys
nickname too.
what do you guys call the tight end when he catches the ball? Smooth. Maybe that guy will take the top off.
I fucking love Pat Fryermuth, man. Just I love how the
Yeah.
Steelers always have a staple fucking tight end that has one of those.
Yeah.
Every time he catches the ball, just the fans go wild.
Heath. I remember Heath.
Heath, dude, Heath is a
Yeah.
legend. But last thing I
Um,
want to bring up on this, in February, Deshaun Elliott, which is also a dog, he's our safety. He came out and spoke to the press about Aaron Rodgers potentially signing. And quote, he said, "Leave his ass at the retirement home."
and he's still on the squad.
He's still on the squad. He's a dog, man. He's a good fucking safety. So
Oh man.
yeah,
Well, I don't know. Worse things have happened, in a locker room, I'm sure. So I'm sure they
yeah.
can get over that. Rogers doesn't seem like a guy who holds on to a grudge at all. So, I
He's
don't think
probably
he'll even
too fucking
remember.
faded to even remember. He's probably gonna
He'll
walk in and be
probably,
like, "Hi, my name's Aaron." He's gonna be like,
hello,
"I'm
I'm
Deshaun."
Aaron. I just returned from my darkness retreat. Hello.
Hello. Yeah, I don't know.
um,
It's gonna be fun.
it
It
definitely will
definitely
be
stirs the
interesting.
pot for the season. So
Yeah. Um, I have a last little football thing. Uh, as a as a JJ McCarthy, closeted JJ McCarthy believer, I secretly think JJ McCarthy is going to be good. I saw very encouraging videos of him slinging the fucking rock
hmm
at OTAs, with Minnesota to Jay Jettas and Jordan Addison, and he's spinning that thing. So
Oh yeah.
I'm not a Vikings fan. I really don't like them at all, because I'm a Seahawks fan. But as a JJ believer, I need him to play well.
hmm
And those OTA videos from training camp, videos from OTA, videos from minicamp, those are always going to get me. Those are always going to get me. You show me
Man,
Jalen Milrow throwing a ball against no defenders, I'm I'm ready to run through a wall.
you didn't believe in my Justin Fields ones, man. I'm gonna ride with
Those
Justin
are
Fields.
different. That's Ben Simmons.
I'm gonna ride with Justin Fields. But
Go Jets.
another thing too, keep it on quarterbacks. The Trent Richardson being hurt with the shoulder, or
Trent
Not
Richardson.
Trent. Sorry, not Trent Richardson. Anthony Richardson. Fuck, where did that
I
come
was gonna
from?
say, holy shit. You're just thinking about Trent. I get it. He was awesome that rookie year.
He was awesome that rookie year. Anthony Richardson with the shoulder injury, and also CJ Stroud with they both haven't thrown at OTAs. So
Yeah, what's going on with Stroud? It's been a little weird that he's not throwing.
yeah, I don't
I'm
know.
more worried about that.
Yeah, I mean, did the Panthers get the better side of that trade?
Yeah, should we revisit that? Bryce finished the year pretty strong.
He did.
Um,
He
no, I
did.
still think Stroud's awesome, but
Yeah. With his little
I
duck feet.
I am a little worried about he. I mean, I know it's only OTAs. We'll have to just see what happens as the year goes on in the off season. But a little weird. The actual injury that should be more worrisome. I'm only more worried about Stroud because he's better. But the Richardson injury is the same AC joint that he injured at the end of last season that
Yeah.
kept him out, and or in the middle of last season. And so that's more worrisome if you're a Colts fan, obviously. But the good news is you have Danny Dimes. So if there's any Colts fans that listens to the podcast, I don't know if
Hail.
there are.
There's one.
Um, oh yeah, Kale. Listen, man, Danny Dimes. This is, I
Could
mean,
be worse.
could be worse. It could be Philip Rivers like it was that one time, or Carson Wentz like it was that one time. Um,
He
now you got
did
Danny Dimes.
he did message me earlier about that. It's the
Yeah.
only reason I know about it. And I was like, it could be worse. You could have Mason Rudolph. And he was like, honestly, I would take Mason Rudolph. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude. And I love Colts fan base, dude. They're so just like delusional. And
Yeah.
as
Oh
soon
yeah.
as who did they draft to? Ah, fuck.
You
Who?
mean a quarterback?
No, who's the tight end that they drafted?
Oh, Tyler Warren.
Yeah, I was say as soon as they got Tyler Warren, they're like fucking soupy, dude. We're back. Everything. And then
Dude, Warren can sling it a little bit. High school quarterback,
God,
Mechanicsville, Virginia. Why don't they put
I
him in there?
I'd take him over Danny Dimes any day. Any
I think
fucking day.
Mechanicsville was just making a run to the state title when he was quarterback. So
God,
shout out
hey,
Mechanicsville, Virginia.
yeah, could be something to look into. But
Yeah.
if they needed to stop using AR as a fucking running back, because every time that dude got tackled, he would fall on that shoulder. So
The problem is he can't be a quarterback though.
yeah,
So that's the problem. I mean,
yeah,
he has to revert to that, and he the more I watch because he's big. Like Josh Allen must be like built out of something different than some of these guys because they're like similar size, but Josh can just like run guys over and just get
hmm
up and doesn't
He
matter at
takes
all.
crazy hits too.
He invites the hits and laughs
Yeah,
like a maniac.
yeah. That's how Will Howard's gonna be too. Just wait,
Okay,
just
and on
wait.
that note,
And on that note, but
wow,
one thing I want to say on the Colts, I do like watching the Colts offense. It's really sad that they can't like establish a quarterback because I fuck with Michael Pittman and I fuck with Jonathan Taylor. So
you heard it here first. Turner likes watching the Indianapolis Colts offense. I don't think you'll
except
hear that any other pods.
that is true. We'll see. We'll see. I think it's
I
just
guess if you're
because
watching
every
the
time they
Steelers
match up against
offense,
the
it's
Steelers,
upgrade.
they always beat the Steelers for some reason. It always fucking pisses me off.
Yeah,
Don't know why. Don't know why.
that's yeah. There's a team like that for the Seahawks too. The Saints. The
Oh,
Saints always beat us.
weird.
Every time we play the Saints every couple years, I'm like, oh cool, the Saints, that's a dub. And then we lose like 36 to 24 in a weird game.
You got the Saints on your schedule this year?
We do at home. Watch out. Game
Watch
of the
out.
year?
Game of the one is it 1 p.m. on
I
a
think
Sunday?
I think it's now I need to check. I think it's a late season one too. Like it's going to be kind of cold here.
Game of the
Um,
year.
it could be game of the year, especially if Spencer Rattler is bringing him to the promised land, or
Shit.
Tyler Shook. Tyler Shook.
Either way, but I want to go back because it just came to mind. But the JJ McCarthy thing, I feel like they did
Hmm.
have a lot of confidence in him being able to like deal Sam Darnold like they did after the year he had. I know he had a
Yeah,
shitty fucking playoff game, but yeah, it's gonna be fun to see JJ, see what he can do. I'm excited for it.
I'm excited to see that as well. As a guy who watched them at Michigan, I think there's a lot more to him. They just ran the ball a lot because they were just that good. The Saints and Seahawks play September 21st at 1 o'clock.
In Seattle,
So in Seattle. So mark your calendar
huge.
for the
Let's
game
go.
of the year.
I'm down to go. Game of the
Hell
year.
yes,
We're gonna watch Tyler Shuck. Um,
we will be there.
yeah, to wrap
Scottsdale's
it up,
finest.
man. I just want to shout out the Colorado Rockies. They got their
Bring
first
out the
series dub.
brooms.
Bring out the fucking brooms, dude. Beat the kind of beat up on the Marlins. I'm not gonna lie. So
The poor Marlins.
that only
What's
puts
up with
them.
Sandy?
Yeah, what is up with Sandy? I mean, I feel like did he even have a good year last year? I feel like it was a couple years ago that
He
was like,
didn't. He didn't play last year because he was
yeah,
coming off Tommy.
that is true. I don't know, man.
He's
I have no
weird,
clue. I have no clue. But
weird stuff.
yeah,
And last
now
episode.
they're only 26 games behind first place now.
Okay, hell
So
yeah. So they're
yeah,
right back in it.
they are
Watch
right
out for
back in
them.
it. Hmm.
And real quick before we leave, last episode, if you heard me say that the Braves are coming, no, you didn't.
They are not coming.
Do not come. Yeah.
But you know who is a coming? Who is being coming? Who
Who
is
is
coming?
coming?
Not the Pirates.
Hell
Road
yeah.
to 30, my guy. Road to 30.
Road to 30. And are we on the road to 50 for subscribers now or what?
We are on the road to 50. I said
All
right
right, road to
after
50.
I said right after that we're on the road to 40, and I we literally posted this and got 40. So
We're just like that. All right,
huge.
road to 50.
And the Mariners are doing the Mariners thing. They are now in second place.
Yeah. Rough. Rough
Rough.
for the nerves.
Really scary
Yeah.
because the Angels are only 5 games back. So
And the Angels, we've discussed, have Ron Washington as their manager, so just watch out.
yeah. And I heard he wanted to come back and hit again. So
Fuck it, let him hit, honestly. Some of those
let
games for the Angels, you might as
let that
well.
dude hit.
Um,
Last thing too,
well,
Devin. All-time Devin game again.
yeah, quick on Devin. He's going to be the closer for the next 4 to 6 weeks because Luke Weaver's out. And he had an absolutely amazing 30 pitch, 1 run save against the Indians, against the Guardians on a couple days ago.
Mhm.
And this is my life for the next 4 to 6 weeks. Devin, who's got it better than us?
No.
Nobody.
So you can be confident if you have a 2-run lead at least. So he's good for one at least. He won't give up that second
Yes.
one. It'll be close, but he won't give up that second one.
And I'm looking at it from a positive perspective. Like Luke Weaver coming off of like his career high in innings over the last couple of years, give him a break. Just give him a break. Have him ready for the stretch run.
Yeah,
Devin, hold it down for the time being. We'll be fine.
yeah, exactly. You still got Tim Hill too, so
Tim Hill,
dog,
really good lefty
crackhead,
dog. Struck out Freddie Freeman.
smoked crack recently.
If that helps him strike out Freddie Freeman, then honestly, I don't make the
Give it
rules.
to Devin.
All
Yes.
right, we're gonna give Devin crack. And on that note, subscribe, like, subscribe, get us to road to 50,
Hmm. And
and we'll be back on Sunday after game 2 of the finals.
and the Stanley Cup Finals.
And the multiple finals are happening. This is
Yeah,
awesome.
this is great time to to join us. But
Yes. Peace.
thank you, everyone.